It's shocking how some people who call themselves liberals, but I call them not progressives, I call them repressives, they are trying to prevent others who have different views from expressing their views on campus. And the best students are those who are not offended. If they feel offended, they just redouble their answers and become smarter and smarter. That's the way you have to do it on university campus.
That was Alan Dershowitz reacting to this wave of anti-chalking, this crisis that's haunting American universities. More recently, DePaul, who made the decision to ban it after Donald Trump's name was found throughout their campus last week. In a campus-wide email, DePaul University Vice President wrote, quote, "While these chalk messages are part of national agendas in the heated political battle, they appeared on campus at a time of significant racial tension in our country and on college campuses. DePaul is no exception." Joining me now, Jillian, Melchior, Richard Fowler, and Kelly Riddell. Richard, let me start with you. Alan Dershowitz saying that liberals, to a large degree, are being very hypocritical here, perhaps ignoring the First Amendment, among other things.
Well, I actually agree with Alan on this point. I think that, banning chalk goes a little bit too far. But where I disagree with Al, I disagree with his tone. And I think this tone, you see it over and over again from baby boomers and those older who continue to condemn millennials for saying we want more open and inclusive societies. And what we are saying as millennials is we are the most diverse society in American history, and we are the next greatest generation. And what we've been dealt is a card that has been created by baby boomers. And now what we're saying is more inclusion. And baby boomers like no inclusion, no inclusion. Okay. And that's part of the problem.
The baby boomers fought Hitler, and you guys are fighting chalk.
No, the baby boomers did not fight Hitler.
I got it.
No, baby boomers did not fight Hitler.
Well,
that was the greatest generation.
The baby boomers fought in Vietnam. They did something, but I get it.
No, they didn't do that either. They elected Ronald Reagan, plummeted our economy.
An incredible amount of debt. I mean, it is something that we're taking on a lot of social obligations for them. We are taking on a lot of their, health care costs. We're picking that up. We're just going to subsidize their life. So I do agree with you on that point. I'm no fan of boomers in that respect. But I think colleges are being ridiculous. I mean, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, but when chalk is an aggression, you don't go to college to have your ideas reinforced. You go to learn. You go to be exposed to people who disagree with you. And I think there's this really toxic campus climate going on right now where students think that they are going to universities not to learn, not to be exposed, but to teach, to be the educators, and that's totally misguided.
To be quite frank, I see it everywhere. Someone said that Goldman Sachs changed their policies because the millennials weren't doing it right. Listen, everyone's bending over backwards.
This is millennial shaming in its highest order, Charles. Millennial shaming. It's wrong. Come on.
I'll work on it over the weekend. But Kelly, I want to bring you in because there is something wrong about this when Richard says that this is the most diversified, age group in the history of America. That's true, but are they going to ever be able to have honest conversations with each other?
Well, I mean, that is a good, fair point. And let me just say something else. If you find Donald Trump's name drawn out in chalk frightening, what do you think about ISIS beheading Coptic Christians? What do you think about China repressing human rights on a daily basis? I mean, do you even know that in Saudi Arabia, women can't drive? There are so many other things to focus attention on. And if millennials today are so sheltered and so frightened and are such snowflakes that they melt at the words Trump and chalk, then they have a rude awakening when they graduate college.
Charles. Richard, real quick, buddy.
Charles, I mean, really, we're light as feathers. I mean, to be honest, we are the bravest generation.
We're not the bravest generation.
We absolutely are.
We're in
Not only did we fight the war, in Iraq and Afghanistan, but we are the generation that had a more inclusive society. We said yes to gay marriage. We said yes to marriage equality. We said yes to LGBTQ folks adopting.
I tip my hat to those millennials that have served the country, but I think there's a large swath of them who have been coddled to the point where I'm not sure if they will emerge as the greatest generation. I hope they do, Richard. I hope you guys can carry that mantle.
We will.
We're going to come back. In the meantime, we're